When you bring your child home for the first time, you want a baby monitor you can trust. When you choose Stork, you choose technology trusted to monitor 10 million babies in hospitals every year. Stork continuously tracks your baby's pulse rate, oxygen saturation, and temperature. Visit MassimoStork.com to learn more. Stork, a revolutionary baby monitor, is born.
Stork is not a medical device. Read and understand all product labeling. Massimo data on file.
Moms and dads, I bet you can relate to this email. Kirk, my son is just like the kids you described in your podcast. He comes home feeling defeated after school, feeling like he isn't smart. But I got him Crunch Labs and he loves it. Building the new toy and watching Mark Rober makes him feel smart. And then he explains, talking a million miles a minute, like our kids do, all the cool science facts he's learned. It's like I get my real kid back when he's building his Crunch Labs toy. And that is exactly why I was so psyched when my niece first told me how her son loves Crunch Lab. Confession, this is the one sponsor I wanted more than any other because it's such a perfect fit for our kids. So go to crunchlabs.com/calm and you'll see why. Crunch Labs is a STEM monthly subscription build box for kids. Your kids get a really fun toy in the mail every month. And what kid doesn't love that? And then they put it together by watching a step-by-step video from former NASA engineer Mark Rober, where he teaches all the cool physics that make the toy work. Mark's passion is helping kids think like engineers. And this helps your kids develop resilience and problem-solving skills while having a ton of fun. Get your kids something they will actually love, use, and look forward to getting all throughout the coming year. Build your child's confidence now. Visit crunchlabs.com/calm and get your kids Crunch Labs today. So what's next? You've been listening to the podcast. You're like, yeah, kind of describing our family. This is our home. What do we do next? That's what I want to talk to you about today on the Calm Parenting Podcast. So welcome. This is Kirk Martin, founder of Celebrate Calm. Feel free, if you're struggling as a family, email our strong-willed son, Casey, C-A-S-E-Y, at celebratecalm.com. Tell us about your family, what you're struggling with. We'll come back with some ideas for you, some tips. If you're interested in our resources, we'll put together, Casey will put together a custom package within your budget. And hopefully everything on the website right now is within your budget because we really drop prices just to help families out during the holidays. So here's what I want to get to today is I want to come up with a plan. I want to kind of keep it simple because we're coming up on the new year and everybody wants to do resolutions. I'm not a big fan of resolutions because nobody keeps them. But what I want to focus on is two areas that we can change. One is let's pick a common power struggle or a time of day that you struggle with in your home. Come up with a plan for that. And let's change one thing within ourselves, right? Because that's something we have control over. And let's get some wins in that area. That's what I'm going to talk about. Before I get there, Casey encouraged me to do this because we had a ton of people take advantage of the Black Friday and Christmas sale, and they've got our programs now. And I know a lot of people with the busyness of the holidays, they didn't listen, but now they're like, okay, I've got these 10 programs, or I've got the No BS program. If you've got the No BS program, very, very straightforward. It's 25 action steps, simple. Just go through it methodically. It's awesome. But if you got the big package, like the Calm Parenting package, and have these 10 programs, here's what I'd probably work on. Here's the way I would approach it. One is, let's listen to the Strong-Willed Child program and ADHD University first. Those fall under understanding your kids inside and out. And I guarantee you one of the issues is that you misinterpret your kids' motives, which makes them very angry, and you misunderstand your kids and why they are like they are. And these programs, they're very, very straightforward and show you how their hearts and brains work. The ADHD University in particular is really good for understanding their brains and schoolwork. Next, I would move on to working on yourself. There's a program just for moms. There's one just for dads. I love that one because it's Casey and I talking to men like men. Short, sweet, tell you what to do. There's also the 30 Days to Calm program. That is the process I went through to change from kind of being the reactive freak dad to being the calm guy. And it's very straightforward of kind of 30 action steps. And as you listen, you can email me. I'll help you with each of those steps because I want you to change who you are and break generational patterns. So that's about your working on yourself. While you're doing that, have your kids, I don't care what age they are, they can be 4, they can be 14, listen to Casey's program, Straight Talk for Kids. Kids love that program because it's not another parent telling them what to do. It's another kid relating his own struggles and how he learned to calm himself down and control his emotions and control his screens. After that one, so now we're working on ourselves with our kids. Then I go to the specific ones with tools. I think then I go with Discipline That Works is a great one because it's going to show you different tools for disciplining kids, stop defiance and disrespect, the motivating kids, probably a little bit skews for older kids, controlling screens. Listen to those ones next. And then if you are brave enough at some point, I would jump into, if you get this one, the marriage mentoring program, because that will change, that will create deep, lasting change within you that you have no idea how much change comes from working on your marriage, because you're going to come face to face with your deepest issues and so many things that you struggle with that you didn't even know you struggled with. But anyway, that's kind of how I would attack that. I'd encourage you, go through it kind of slowly. Just don't try to get through it. There's a lot of very, very, very deep insight in there and things I want you to get. If you're a note taker, I would take notes on it, and I'd write down certain things that you want to focus on. I would definitely let my kids listen to all of the programs, all of them. Have them playing in the background. Challenge your kids. I've homeschooling families and families during COVID who are doing home from school who are using it as curriculum and just saying, hey, here's some ideas. Why don't you listen to this and let us know what are 2 things, do a little written essay on what are 3 things you want us to change as parents. What are 3 things you want us to stop doing, to start doing, right? Use it. Get them involved with it. It's really interesting how that works. So as you do that, you're going to get a lot of ideas. And so here are the 2 areas that I want to focus on now. 1, let's pick a time of day that trips you up, a particular situation that tends to create a power struggle. It could be morning routine. It could be dinner time. It could be getting your kids to go somewhere, try a new experience, and they've got a lot of anxiety, so they have a big meltdown, and the whole night is ruined. And that happens like every Tuesday night when you try to get your child to go to X place. So let's do this. Let's work on that. Let's focus our energy and say, okay, we're not going to fix everything. We're not going to fix every power struggle and stop them all right now. But let's get a win in this area. And a couple things to think about. Instead of going to consequences, let's think about tools. What tools can you give your child to help them deal with their anxiety or with them feeling overwhelmed? Bonding. This is a big idea. It's really big on No BS program, but it's a big idea that we like is let's take something that usually irritates you and creates a power struggle and instead turn that around 180 degrees into a bonding opportunity. So in the morning when that child's dawdling and they don't want to get up for school, instead, what can you do to bond with your child? Hey, if you get ready, get your clothes on, get downstairs, I will listen to your favorite music. Ask your kids this. It's a really cool way to bond with kids. Ask your child to teach you something. Because as parents, we're always lecturing and teaching, and I have to show you this. It's really cool when you turn around and say, I'm really interested in that. I'm curious. Could you teach me that? Could you show me that? If you get downstairs, get ready, and I'll have breakfast ready, and you can show me this. Sometimes you can watch their TikTok videos, right, after you had a drink. Kidding. But bond over something and let's see, and use the tools, and let's see if we can get a win in a particular area. If you get the programs and have them, and if you're really struggling with an area, just email us and we'll give you a couple tips of things to try, because sometimes it's easier for us to see from the outside. But let's get a win in that area. And once we say, okay, Tuesday night's getting our child to his martial arts class, we dealt with the anxiety. We got to the root of it. We're figuring it out. There's a win. Okay, now let's move on to morning routine. And let's move on to doing homework so that we don't have big meltdowns every afternoon. Don't try to fix everything at once. Marshal your emotional and mental resources onto an area. Get a win. Praise the child and say, hey, nice job with that. Really nice job. And live in that and get that win. And then we move on and we build on wins and we build on momentum. Second thing we're going to work on is ourselves. Let's pick an area that we struggle with ourselves. You and I, both, all of us, have generational patterns we carry forth that we inherited from our moms and dads. Or we have areas within ourselves that were kind of scarred because of our childhood. Let's pick an area that we need to work on, right? Mine that I'm going to work on next is I'm not direct enough with people in my personal life, and I have a deep fear of disappointing people. I don't want them to be disappointed in me. And I think that comes from my dad because he was never really happy with me. By the way, for those of you who are spiritually minded, that directly affects usually how you see God. And I've struggled my entire life with thinking that God's just disappointed with me because I just never lived up to his standards. It's constant kind of battle in my heart and brain. So I'm going to work on that one. What's your generational pattern? One of my early ones I had to work on, well, I have a lot of them, was yelling and screaming and just reacting. Let's work on that. One of them was trying to prove my point all the time, that I was right. And I know wives really appreciate that. They don't. Moms, yours might be, maybe you had the martyr mother who did everything for everybody else and nothing for yourself, and you've grown resentful. After all I do for you, you just did that at Christmas time. You spent all of your energy, not even all of your energy, you spent energy you didn't even have because you were already depleted, making sure everybody else was happy at Christmas time, but not you. You just wanted to get through it. So let's break that pattern. Let's work on that. So a few things to do. Self-care. This is not selfish. What can you begin doing for yourself that feeds you so that your kids don't have to manage your emotions for you because you're taking time for yourself and you're doing some things that feed you that will ultimately make you more patient with your kids. Break some of those patterns. What are you going to stop doing? What are you going to stop doing? Are you going to stop trying to make everybody happy? Are you going to stop trying to fix everything that goes wrong? That's huge for some of you. So let's pick one of those things and begin. Oh, here's one more. Being assertive about what you need. See, being bossy is telling other people, this is off Straight Talk for Moms, for sure. Being bossy is telling other people what to do. Being assertive is telling other people what you are going to do, right? There's power in that. And in there we talk a lot about, like, I don't demand respect from another person. I demonstrate self-respect. So begin being assertive. Let's practice it. Do the opposite of what you'd normally do, because what you're doing right now, not working. So you may as well do the opposite. Apologize. Apologize to your kids, right? For lecturing too much, for demonstrating that you don't really trust them because you're always fixing things for them. Just, the simple acknowledgement with some humility that you have an issue. Yes, I'm too anxious. Yes, I lecture too much. Yes, I have an anger issue. Guys struggle with that. Well, if I admit that I have an issue, that's going to hurt my authority. No, it's not. What ruins your authority is the fact that you can't control yourself. It's not going to be some surprise to your kids when you're like, guys, I've got an anger issue. They're going to be like, really? We never noticed. Of course, they already know you do. You know what beautiful thing you just did? You just modeled for them how to own your own issue and deal with your own stuff. And you just said straightforwardly, I have an anger issue. Forgive me because I overreact. And though that is not your issue, that is my issue to work on. And I'm going to begin working on that. And you're going to wrestle with it. And you're not going to be perfect at it at first at all. But you're going to wrestle, and your kids are going to watch their mother or their father work on themselves, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. If you ask Casey, he will tell you the one thing that he is most proud of me or looks up to me for is not like success in this business or the corporate world or anything else. It's that he saw me change who I was. He saw me change right in front of him, and he saw me wrestle with it. That will produce a lot of change in your home. It's really, really cool. So I want you, we go through this in the programs, but I would encourage you, let's pick the one area. Write an email to yourself. Write an email to yourself with a goal, right? I don't like doing like all the like, oh, I'm going to make New Year's resolutions. I don't like all that because most people don't follow through. But I do like to have a focus on a specific area. And what I usually do is send an email to my to my junk email address. So every day when I wake up and throughout the day when I'm looking at my email 400 times a day, I see that. I no longer fear disappointing people. It's going to be mine. And I'm going to practice it. And then I want you to practice it. Practice it, practice it, practice it. Are you going to be perfect at first? No. You're going to mess up. And that's part of the process. But if you listen to our programs, you'll hear the phrase, progress, not perfection. I want progress. And that's what we're going to make together. That's what we're going to do. So 2 things this coming week and then throughout the next year. But 2 things we're just going to work on. Choose a common power struggle, an errant time of the day that usually trips you up, something your child does that irritates you most. Find that one. What do they do that irritates you most? And then enter into it and find a way to bond over. That's how you change it. And then let's pick one area within yourself that you want to work on and begin to attack it and begin to give tools and take care of yourself. And that's how we're going to make progress. If we can help you, reach out to us. Casey, C-A-S-E-Y at celebratecalm.com. Tell us about your family. We'll give you some ideas and some tips. We can customize a package of programs to fit your budget. Everything's still on sale right now, so hopefully it's within your budget. But just let us know how we can help you. It's what we exist to do. Please share with others the Calm Parenting Podcast. Love you all. Looking forward to a brand new year. And for most of us, just about anything's going to be better than 2020. So we're excited, and we want you to join us on that journey. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.